Hey, Sully, how are you this morning?
You sound a little reserved. Only one Diet Coke so far?
No, I'm good. I'm good today.
What's that?
I'm good.
Before we get into some basketball, I wanted to piggyback on what Tyler Donahue was just talking about with the high school football signing day. It's become such a big thing. I mean, especially with Rutgers getting a lot of attention here, a lot of excitement around that program with some South Jersey signings.
Yeah, there is a lot of excitement around the programs, and signing day has become a big day. It's almost become as big as regular season football games for teams. I mean, it's almost college football fans. It's almost as big as actual games. So it really is a day of celebration. These days, getting a college scholarship and going to college for free at any time is fantastic. But in these days, when college can cost $200,000 for 4 years. Things tend to work out. Getting that scholarship is really excellent.
What's going on there in the background? Fifth grade Biddy basketball or what?
Yeah, we're in the gym right now. A little Hal Rec basketball right now. Kids block the shot, so roars from the thousands in attendance here at this game. So.
Kind of similar to last night. I mean, a great energy, great crowd out there for Atlantic City and St. Augustine. We really saw St. Augustine kind of solidify itself as the best team in South Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, St. Augustine really, there was so much anticipation, packed gym. The teams had played a relatively close game at St. Augustine a couple of weeks before, and the Hermits came out last night and really just took it to Atlantic City. I mean, I think they jumped out to a 19-5 lead. They just got down the floor. They beat Atlantic City down the floor. They were able to break Atlantic City's press and create some easy baskets. They were able to force some turnovers and convert those in easy baskets. And Austin Kennedy, a kid who always seems to play well at the Battle by the Bay. I remember as a sophomore 2 years ago, he kind of had a breakout game against Atlantic City, had 22 points last night, and 66-46, St. Augustine looking very good last night in their win over Atlantic City.
Yeah, you mentioned Austin Kennedy, and I was really impressed with him. He just does so many things well. He doesn't turn the ball over. He makes great decisions. He hits those little 10-foot fadeaway jumpers. He can step out and hit a three. He can drive to the basket. I think he's probably one of the most underrated players in South Jersey that I don't think gets enough respect.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, he's kind of played in the shadow of guys. Last year, of course, Saeed Nelson on that St. Augustine team that won the state non-public A title, he kind of played in the shadow of him. And this year he's kind of in the shadow of Justin Mutz a little bit. And Marlon Hargis gets a lot of attention as a rising junior player. But like you said, Austin Kennedy is one of the top players in the area, and he kind of proved it last night.
I'll tell you what, man, if I'm starting a basketball team, I want that kid on my team. He's so tough, so gritty. I mean, he's a guy that's going to come out and compete every night and do whatever it takes to win, and that's the kind of guys you want on a high school basketball team.
Well, he kind of showed it last night because, he was able to score on, you saw it in the way he scored. He was able to hit a three-point shot. He was able to get out on the fast break and make a layup. And he was even able to get some putbacks. So, I mean, that's two or three ways to score, showed his versatility there. And I think he's kind of an underrated defensive player. He gets a lot of deflections. He harasses people on the court. So I think he's kind of one of those guys that's been a mainstay of the St. Augustine program. But like you said, he's kind of been underrated because he's been out there, behind a Saeed Nelson and kind of behind a Justin Mutz this season.
I saw Coach Scott Bittner from Stockton over there. You think he was whispering in Austin's ear a little bit, like, "Hey, come on over and you'd look good in black and sky blue."
Yeah, I think Austin would be a credit to any program. It's a Division III program. He might, even be a higher player than that. So it'll be interesting to see where he lands at college. But I think the team that does get him will be getting a versatile player who can do an awful lot.
Also, I've been impressed this year with the way Justin Mutz has handled his role. I mean, we thought he was going to be this big-time scorer and shot blocker, but even when teams go out of their way to shut him down, he does so many other things well to be a part of that game. He'll block shots, he'll grab rebounds, he'll alter shots. He's really matured a lot over the last year and a half.
Well, I would agree. I think he's a really good all-around player now, whereas, in the past maybe he's been a bit one-dimensional. I think last night, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks. And what I was really impressed with was his ability to pass the ball out of the post. I mean, several assists. He threw some nice passes to Charles Solomon for some easy baskets. His ability to really pass out of the post is really, I think, his big improvement this year, and has made him an even more dangerous player, because now you can't just double team him automatically or triple team him when he gets the ball. And he's, because he can find open guys for layups or inside open guys for layups or outside on the perimeter.
Talking with Mike McGarry of the Press for Atlantic City. Mike, what do you make of Atlantic City? A lot of great athletes, but not a ton of experience. Some of these guys, they've played on the varsity level before, obviously, but really haven't had to be the man, so to speak. And you saw Ray Bethea kind of become that a little bit last night for this team. What do they need to do going down the stretch the next couple of weeks to really make a run in either the Cal tournament or the state playoffs?
Well, I think, after last night's game, Gene Allen kind of said it. I think Atlantic City, they're not used to losing 66-46. So I think last night is a time when Atlantic City's got to sort of take a look at things. Gene Allen kind of said that the team is at the crossroads. I think Atlantic City's got to sit back and, like Gene said, they're going to look at film today, and I think they've got to sort of regroup and replan and kind of get back to what has made them successful in the past. And I think that's defense and controlling tempo a little bit. I thought Atlantic City, it seems funny to say, but I think St. Augustine wanted to play at a faster pace against Atlantic City last night. And I think Atlantic City wanted to, might have been better served by slowing it down a little bit. And, I think Atlantic City's got to look at things and kind of, maybe get back to what has made them successful the past few years.
Mike, who should we be on the lookout here for the next couple of weeks? Maybe not competing for the Cal tournament, because St. Augustine's going to be such a tough opponent in that tournament, but who's a team that might be able to get hot here in February and maybe make a run in the state playoffs?
Well, I think you got to look in Group 3. I think Ocean City and Mainland Regional in Group 3 should be very interesting. I think as it shapes up right now, I think one is the 3 seed, one is the 4 seed, and Ocean City with Luciano Lebrano and Mainland with Oshuna Suni. I think those are two teams that can possibly make a run in Group 3. And I think that is, they're two teams that you can look for as the playoffs continue.
How about a team like Wildwood Catholic? They're going to be playing tonight against Christian Brothers Academy. What can we expect out of them going forward the next couple of weeks?
Well, I think, we got to look for Wildwood Catholic to build some momentum, and they've got a perfect opportunity tonight against a rising CBA team. I mean, Wildwood Catholic comes off a good win last night over Kingsway Regional at a showcase event out at Bishop Eustace. They had Trey Smith score his 1,000th career point. So I think tonight is an opportunity for them to, to beat a good CBA team and create some momentum going forward into, the Cape Atlantic League tournament and non-public bigs.
I'll tell you what, Mike, the girls' Cape Atlantic League tournament is going to be very interesting. Ocean City's undefeated this year, but they're going to face some tough challenges from teams like Middle Township, Mainland Regional. Even Holy Spirit's gotten pretty hot the last week and a half.
Yeah, I think, I think you got some big games coming up this week. I think, you've got Ocean City Holy Spirit. I think you've got Mainland Holy Spirit this week, and those games will go a long way towards defining what's going on as far as the season goes. I think, but like you said, I think, those three teams, I think you got Wildwood Catholic is an interesting team to watch. So like you said, I think the Cape Atlantic, while, St. Augustine's kind of established themselves as the clear-cut favorite in the Cape Atlantic League National Cape Atlantic League tournament, the Cape Atlantic League boys tournament, I think the girls tournament is wide open.
Good stuff, Mike. We'll let you get going. I'm sure you're busy there with the youth league, and I'm sure you got a lot on the docket today with the Battle by the Bay. Appreciate you taking a few minutes, bud.
All right, no problem, Sully. Thanks.
All right, have a good weekend, man.
See you later. Bye-bye.
That was Mike McGarry, Press of Atlantic City. We're